Good morning, children. Well, in the last video, we have discussed about the individual development. Today, we are discussing about nation's development. Here, you can see here national development. It is the development of a nation. How can we measure the development of a nation? What are the criteria in measuring the development of a nation? So in the beginning, let us see what is a nation's development. You want to call a nation as developed. On what grounds you are going to tell this is a developed country, this is developing country, or this is not developed or underdeveloped country? What are the criteria? So there are some characteristics. What you can say, there are some characteristics what you can say to consider the nation is developed or not. So first let me see what are the characteristics here. So you want to call a nation as developed is there should be less poverty, or the level of the poverty should be less, and then there should be better education facilities, good health condition, and the income level of the people should be more in order to enjoy good standards of living or in order to fulfill the basic needs of the living. And he should have equal opportunities, he should have more freedom. If all these are provided in a country for the people of that country, then you can call it as a developed nation. And even there is one more statement here. So if you call a nation as developed one, then the people of that nation should enjoy good standards of living. See here, it is a process that brings changes in the living standard of the people. So development of a nation will bring changes in the living standards of the people. Next. Now, we want to compare one nation with another nation. How will you compare? So I told you already, there are so many criteria in measuring the development of the nation. This criteria itself we are going to use to compare one nation with another nation. So here, one more thing we have to remember. If you ask somebody what is your idea of nation's development, the person may say if the people of the country are having good standard of income or they are enjoying good income level. One of them may say like that. If you ask me, I will say if the people are enjoying good basic facilities like health, education, like that. If I ask you, you may say there should be growth in the secondary sector, that is there should be more industries, and one of your friend may say there should be growth in the primary sector, that is more concentration on the agriculture, and one more of your friend may say there should be good improvement opportunities in the service sector. So like this, there are so many views regarding the nation's development. Different people will say, they will give different notions about the nation's development. And here, considering all this, we will consider very few. What are those? See here, we will consider income, opportunities, poverty level, public facilities, standard of living, so on. So here, measuring the nation's development, we will consider the income level of the nation, the poverty level of the nation, basic facilities provided in the nation, industrial, agriculture development, whether the nation is having a pollution-free environment or cleaner environment, and most importantly, whether the nation is concentrating on the sustainable standards of living. These are all the different things or criteria we will keep in our mind while measuring the nation's development. See here, before going for this slide, I want to tell you there are main three approaches of development measurement. What are those three approaches? One is traditional approach, second one is middle approach, third one is modern approach of development. In the traditional approach of development, we will consider national income as the main criteria for measuring the development of the nation. And in the second approach, that is in the middle approach, you are going to consider only the per capita income of the people. And in the modern approach, you are considering the basic facilities, the living standards provided for the people in the nation. So totally we are having three different approaches of development. That is, one is modern approach, middle approach, traditional approach. To put it in a correct hierarchical order, the first one is traditional approach, and then the middle approach, and then the modern approach. So here the first one, the traditional approach. What it will say? Look at here. It highlights more on the income of the people. So countries with more income are more developed. Countries with less income are less developed. It is clear here. If a nation is having more income, that nation is developed. If the nation is not having enough income or less income, that nation is not developed. So this is a very simple idea. Depending on the income level of the nation, you will consider whether the nation is developed or not in the traditional approach. See here, the concept based on more income means more of all the things that human beings need. National income of a country is the income of all the residents of the country. You may ask me, what is this income? The income is the nation's income, the total income which is created or generated in the country. So total income generated means it is the income earned by all the people in the country. So all the people, they will earn some income, and if they are having good income means naturally they will enjoy good standard of living. This is the argument here. What we can say is, if I am having good income, I can enjoy good standard of living, and vice versa. If I am not having good income, I cannot enjoy good standard of living. Based on that ideology, this traditional approach, it concentrates, if a nation is having more income, it is developed. If it is not having more income, it is underdeveloped. And here, what are the problems with this approach? What are the shortcomings? What are the disadvantages of this approach? Look at here. It will not tell you about the distribution of income among the people of the country. Agree? See here, it will only tell you this is the income generated in the country in this year. Only that much it will tell you. Whether all the people in the country are enjoying the same level of income, it will not tell you. This is the first problem associated with this approach. Second one, it will not consider the living standards enjoyed by the people. It will say, of course, good income means good living. It will say you, but whether the government has provided all the basic facilities for the people, it will not tell you. This is one more problem. The third one is, see, India is the second largest populated country in the world, isn't it? We are next to China in terms of population. That means, so more population, more income, our country should be developed. But that is not the case. So different nations may have different population. If a nation is having more population, then that nation should be developed. But this is not happening. So this is one more problem associated with the approach of traditional approach. So these are the main three shortcomings which tells this is not a complete measure to compare one nation's development with another nation's development. Next. So this is the middle approach. I told you this is the second approach. This concentrates more on per capita income. So per capita income is per head income or individual income. See here, it stresses more on the per capita income criteria. Per capita income is also called as average income. See, per capita income has got one more name, that is average income. So what is average income? How will we get the average income? There is a simple formula. See here, if you divide the national income by the total population of the country, you will get the per capita income of the nation. How will we get the per capita income or the average income? You have to divide the total income generated in a country by its total population. So what we will get it is the per capita income of the nation. So this approach is adopted by World Bank in comparing one nation with another nation. So the World Bank, all of us know World Bank. It is an international organization which is taking care of the financial activities of the entire world here. So this World Bank, it will publish a development report every year, and in that development report, it will give you some notions about the development. So it has divided all the nations of the country into two broad categories. What are those? One as rich country, another as poor country. How can you say whether this country is rich or not? You can also give one more name for the rich country, that is developed nation, and for the poor country it is the underdeveloped nation. See here, there is this criteria, it is selected by the World Bank, and every year, depending on the conditions, situation prevailing in the entire world, they are going to change the income level, and you may get different income level in different years. You can even search it in your textbook, and what I am giving you here. So look at here. See, the World Bank has used per capita income as criteria for comparing the different nations' development. Okay. So here I told you we are having two classification. One is rich country, another is poor country. So rich country. So which you call as rich country? The nation, the person living in the nation should earn $12,056 and above. If an individual is earning, see, it is given in terms of US dollars. If a person is earning $12,056 per annum and above, such nations are called as rich countries. So all the people in the nation should earn at least $12,056 per annum. Then only such country is called as a rich country, or else it is a underdeveloped country. What is an underdeveloped country? See here, if it is $995 or less, if a person in a nation is having the average income or capacity of earning US dollars 995 or less, such nation is called as low income country, or also you can give it as poor income country. And where is the situation? Where is the position of India? Yes, you are right. India is in the lower middle income group. Where it appears, see, if a country is having in between these two, such a thing it will come under middle income group, and our country is coming in the lower middle income country. And this data what I am giving you now, it is published by the World Bank on 1st July 2018. See, once again I will tell you, this measure is also not complete. We are having some more problems here. What are those problems? See, the main thing what we can say is, of course it will tell you this is the income which should be earned by all the people of the country. But whether all the people of the country are earning the same level of income or not, we don't know, because it will tell us only total income divided by total population, this much should be the average income. But in fact, or in the actual sense, whether all the people are earning the same level of income, it is not given, it is not considered. This is the first problem. And the second one is, see, the most important, the public facilities, basic amenities are not considered here. And the third one is, whether all the individuals are earning the same level of average income, we don't know. So these are all the three shortcomings associated with this approach. Okay students, thank you. In the next video, we will go for the next approach.